Welcome everyone to another episode of the Kamper Report. I'm your host Benjamin Camperman, um, and today we have a special guest. I found him a few weeks ago when Rich Keltz, actually no, not a few weeks ago, a few days ago when I did a show with Rich Keltz from Keltz Chronicles. Shout out to him, and he said I really like this guy, Pete Lucas, and I did this show with him. Um, and I looked up his show, a Niner Fanatic podcast. I had also seen you a few times on Twitter, and I started watching some of your podcasts, was really impressed, and I thought I had to have him on. So here he is. Niner Fanatic podcast. The links are in the description. You can follow him on YouTube, Twitter, whatever, wherever you can find your podcast, or I mean all
I'm
of his social
everywhere.
media. Yeah, everywhere. So
You look
how
up
are you
Niner
doing
Fanatic
today?
podcast and you'll find it. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter where you get it, just get it.
Yeah. So, how are you doing today? We were talking backstage a little of how you started. Tell us a little bit about how you started. And before we do that, I apologize. We're a little bit late than the intended time. I had some technical difficulties there and also ran into some things before the show that I had to do. So, apologize for that. We'll try to be more on time. But back to the point. How are you doing and how did you get into this content creating?
Hey, I'm great. Hey, first of all, I want to say I appreciate you having me on, Ben. It's you hit me up like a day or so ago, and I'm always down to come on and talk 49ers and NFL in general with everybody. But yeah, when honestly, it all started a little bit less than a year ago. I started my show. There's a whole bunch of people honestly responsible for it, but started listening out to BD Peacock and on Locked On and saw that there were so many different 49er content creators and that it was a possibility. And then I had a couple of guys like Javi Vega and John Chapman and a couple of other
Ooh.
people tell me that why just do it. Just go.
Yeah.
Like you just got to get on. And so I did. And here we are almost a year later and I'm still doing it. Like I do it about 3-4 times. I'm on about 3-4 times a week, and I have my show Niner Fanatic Podcast that you can get on YouTube. You can get. I do the snippets on
Link in
Instagram and
description.
TikTok. Yep, and and then I have, and then I'm also on Facebook, also on Twitter. I'm everywhere, and you can get the audio anywhere where you can get your audio podcast. But yeah, once again, appreciate you having me on, bro.
Yeah, totally. It was interesting because I kind of John Chapman, really cool guy. So it's cool
Hmm.
to hear that you have got encouragement from those people as well, because those people are definitely people that helped me start my channel and
Hmm.
whatsoever. If you ever need a Rams, have you ever heard of Payo Time?
Yeah, he was on Last
Yeah.
Man Standing with us when it first started.
Okay. And then another Rams, if you ever need another Rams guy, Jake Ellenbogen, he's on Twitter,
Okay.
is really good as well. So those are some guys that you could, well, Jake Ellenbogen's a really cool Rams content creator as well.
Rams Beat.
Um,
I don't know if you ever heard of Rams Beat on Twitter. I've had him on my show before, like when we were facing the Rams. He's also great, like great guy to have on.
yeah, totally. I'll check them out for sure. But let's get to right into it. We have a few topics, and then we can take some comments when they start to flow in. There is some comments before we get into it. There is a few comments from Grandizer, my loyal supporter. Thank you for coming in once again. Um, let's see. Get to know PD Lucas questions. How did you become a 49ers fan? That is a good question. Who is
For sure.
your all-time favorite 49ers player? For one offense and one defense. How many 49ers jerseys do you own?
All right. Well, so I'm old. Just so everybody, so all your listeners know, I'm 45 years old. So I've been a Niner fan for over 35 years now, and
Wow.
I started actually playing a video on. You probably don't even know what it is, but Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES on Tecmo Bowl, and 49ers had
Yeah,
a
I haven't.
great play, Montana to Rice, that was unstoppable in that game, and I was like 7 or 8. Like, so I mean, that's all it took. And now I'm a 49er fan, and I've just stuck with the team all throughout the good years, bad years, doesn't matter. But as far as the second question goes, like favorite 49ers player, got to be Jerry Rice. Got to be
Yeah,
Jerry
mine
Rice.
too.
He's the goat. I mean, the goat for football, in my opinion. And then one on defense, I would say my favorite 49ers got to be Ronnie Lott. Like, I mean, he was just, I mean, if you a lot of you didn't get a chance to see him live, but the man was just he set the tone. And that's what I loved about football and the physical nature of it. So I loved Ronnie Lott and the way he would just set the tone of a game, and you didn't come across the middle against Ronnie Lott. And then how many 49ers jerseys? I only have two. I'm not a big merch merch guy. Like I have a few hats, and then I have a couple of jerseys, but I don't really get into the. I'm saving for retirement now. I'm old, like, so yeah,
Yeah.
it is what it is. But yeah, like doesn't make me any less of a 49er. I love my 49ers. I've got tons of T-shirts too. So
Nice, nice. Yeah, this is my Trey Lance jersey. I did get a Jimmy Garoppolo jersey like 3 years ago, but don't really wear that anymore. I don't really like I don't really
I
like wearing it anymore, but
my Jerry Rice jersey is probably older than you. Like it's I bought it the last time that they won the Super Bowl in '94.
oh
So
my gosh.
and then so I have that one in plastic. I don't bring it out unless we make it to the
Yeah.
Super Bowl. And then I've got my Vernon Davis jersey that I bought
Yeah,
a long time
nice.
ago.
Nice. Yeah, I got given before we get into it, this is a quick rabbit trail, I guess. I got given a newspaper from when the 49ers won their first Super Bowl. Was it against the Bengals? It was against the Bengals. And I remember I got given the newspaper that came out like the next day
Mm,
from and it's like I have it in plastic under my bed because it is so old,
that's
but
cool.
it's really cool. So I'm never gonna get rid of that thing. That thing
No,
is worth a
you
lot of
shouldn't.
money. Yeah,
Yeah, you
I know.
shouldn't.
But anyways, so let's get to we'll start with NFC and AFC playoff predictions. Um, we this is interesting because there's a lot of shakeup in the NFL. We had the Bills losing last week. We had the Vikings, who we all thought were, I at least thought, and a lot of people thought were big outliers because, I mean, they hadn't really played a ton of teams that were good and that had a winning record, and when they did, they got blown out by the Eagles. But now that they beat the Bills, that's an interesting team. Like the Vikings are maybe legit now.
Mm.
And then I mean, the Eagles just lost. So I'm interested to see what are your mid-season, because we're about, well, a little more than mid-season through, but what are your like a little more than mid-season NFC and AFC playoff predictions, I guess. We'll start with NFC.
I mean, I don't think that, like, because we're a little bit more than halfway through now, a little bit over halfway through the season. I don't see the playoff picture shaking up too much. Uh, it's been a really weird year of football. First of
True.
all, there's been a lot of teams that people thought were going to be really good and are not, and then there's been a lot of teams that we thought were going to be bad, and they're turning out to be 7-2. So it is what it is. But I mean, I'm gonna start. You want me to start with the NFC or the AFC?
Oh, I guess we can start. Let's do NFC first. I guess
Okay.
start from seventh seed.
So I
I
mean,
don't care really, but yeah, let's do
yeah,
NFC.
I think that I'm looking at it like I'm looking at the schedules, and I'm thinking that it's within the realm of possibility that I think the Cowboys are going to end up with the 7th seed.
Okay.
And then I've got the 49ers at 6. And then I've got I got the rest of them pretty much standing pat. Like I'm looking at the Giants at 5th, Tampa at 4th. Giants well, I mean Tampa's going to win their division, so that's why they're going to
Yeah.
stay at 4. And then Seattle, I can't see us overtaking them, like
Really?
because of their schedule. remaining schedule.
True.
It's uh it's just they have a lot of it's going to be really tough. Like because they've got a few easy games, and
Mhm.
it's going to be really hard for us to come back. That's why we shouldn't have gone down 3-4 in the first place. So it is what it is. And then I've got Minnesota and Philly at the top.
Huh.
Like I don't
Interesting.
see it moving. Like I think that Philly is for real. I've said it from
Right.
the beginning of the season, and I think that they just have a really strong team from top to bottom, defense, offense, everything. It's just about them putting it together and staying focused. But Minnesota, I think that they're good when they're good, and when they don't look good, like it can look really bad. I think they've gotten lucky in a couple of games
True.
this year, so I have no faith in Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. That's
So
a good point. I think it was impressive what they did. Go to Buffalo, beat the Bills. But I
hmm
do think the Bills are in a little bit of a funk right now, and I don't think the Bills are the most complete team. They need to figure out something with their run. When it's like with the Bills, it's like when Josh Allen doesn't have a good day, the whole team stumbles. That
yeah,
offense is
great
really only
point.
as good as Josh Allen is, and they need to
hmm
figure something out. I don't think the Bills ever will this year. So that win looked impressive now, but I could see in a few weeks where we're saying, "Oh, that's not that impressive of a win," just
hmm
because I think the Bills. I don't know. They're a team that are I think built a little bit for their beginning of the season
Yeah.
because their quarterback's arm wears out. But I want to quickly what you said was interesting about the Seahawks because here's their schedule. Raiders, I think that's a win. Rams, I think that's a win. Panthers, I
hmm
think that's a win. So that could be 3 straight. But then they hit 49ers and that's the big one, December
Yeah.
15th. And then Chiefs and Jets, and that could all three be losses. And
Could
then
be.
you've got the Rams.
Yeah.
So let's say they go 4-3 within the next 7 games. That's 10-6.
hmm
I think it's gonna come down really close. That December 15th game is gonna be a huge game to decide. Like they have to go in Seattle and beat the Seahawks,
Yep.
which that could be the biggest game of the year. So, you make a good point. My list though is number 7 Seahawks. No, actually, I'm gonna say number 6 Seahawks. I'm gonna say Giants number 7, Seahawks number 6, Cowboys number 5, Buccaneers number 4, 49ers number 3, Vikings number 2, and Eagles number 1. Um, I wanted to pull up real quick the Buccaneers schedule. Right. Let's see where it is. I have all these. I have all these schedules real quick. I think this is where it. Yeah. Um, Let's see. So their schedule, they play the Browns, Saints, 49ers, Bengals, Cardinals, and Panthers and Falcons. I think that's an easy schedule. I do.
hmm
But I think that 49ers game, if we can beat the Buccaneers, that game, I think we could easily get third place there. So it's going to be close. I think the Seahawks, they have a complete team. They have a good running game. And the Giants are, I feel like a little bit of an outlier team just because they haven't really gotten in any games where Daniel Jones has to pass the ball. And
Yeah,
so I
that's
think they
true.
get 7 there. But yeah, I think the Eagles are the most complete team in the NFC. So that's why I put them number
Easily.
1. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
easily.
and,
Yeah,
and the
and
thing that's, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh yeah, to your point, like this this is the thing is that it's because this season has been so kind of all over the place that it's really hard to pick that 7, 6, and 5 seeds. Like
Right.
because any of these games that we think should be wins have as we've seen throughout the season have not been wins. Like so
Yeah.
it's we just don't really know what's going to happen because who knows what these coaches are what kind of game plans that they're going to bring into these games and I really think that's a big reason why the NFL has been so crazy this year is these coaches have been trusting their schemes a little bit too much instead of taking advantage of
That's true.
matchups. But
I think the NFC this year is well, I think it was like this last year, but there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to get blown out in the first round that will get like I think the bottom like Cowboys, obviously number 5. I think the first 5 teams, Eagles, Vikings, 49ers have potential. Buccaneers have
Mhm.
been there, so they have experience. Cowboys are good as well, but the Cowboys are a team as well. Like, they have never tended to do very good in the playoffs.
Mhm.
And then Giants, Seahawks, Giants and Seahawks. So I think there's going to be a lot of, I don't know. I think the bottom half of that NFC playoff picture is very, I don't know, weak. I
Yeah,
should say
it's all over the place.
it is, but I couldn't like. There might be 4. The thing that's crazy is there might be 4 NFC East teams this year because Washington's 1 game back from. No, they're 5 and
Yeah.
5, so they're doing good as well, and they don't have a too hard schedule. The whole NFC East doesn't have a too hard schedule, so
Yeah, well, because they all have each other.
yeah,
So,
it's
yeah,
true.
it's,
That's true.
I mean, Washington is one game they look great. They have a good defense.
Oh yeah,
That's the one constant for them. But you just don't know what you're gonna get out of Heineke when he
right,
gets prolonged starts. Like, because it's great the first couple of games when you insert him in, and
right.
he's been solid. Like, but I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen when teams have that tape and they start looking at the tape. So,
Yeah, that's true. Very good point there. And I think because they play the AFC South, so that's also a
mhm,
pretty easy division as well. And Washington. Well, and the thing that was also impressive was they were able to beat the Eagles without Chase Young, their best pass rusher. So that was
yeah,
interesting as well. So Grandizer
good
real
point.
quick. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Bills are cursed. The NFC East has become the toughest division in the AFC. Who
What do
would have
you
thought though?
what do you think is the problem with the Bills offense? Because I have my own thoughts on it, but what do you think is the biggest issue with their offense?
Easy. Run game. I just don't think they commit enough to it. And I mean, it's just they have a decent offensive line. It's just in the cold in the playoffs. Like, I feel like it happened a lot with the Saints when they had Drew Brees. They had all those years where they were really good the first half of the season, and then they fell off a little bit because they relied a little too much on Drew Brees, and they were
Yeah,
throwing the ball a lot. It just never works, especially in the cold when you go there's always gonna be cold places, and it's hard
exactly.
to pass the ball in the cold. You have to rely on the run game. I think that's the main part.
Yeah, you're
Um,
wise beyond your years. Like,
yeah.
it is obviously the running game to me. Like,
Yeah. And we saw like, and I never thought of this before, but didn't that same thing happen with the Saints for like a few years in a row with Drew Brees at the end of his career?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so
They had Alvin Kamara. They have
yeah,
they have backs. Like the Bills have backs. Like, they have guys that can run the ball. They don't prioritize it. And you're right. When you get into these colder months and start going again, they have an outdoor stadium, correct?
yeah, yeah,
Like, and to get in the playoffs, like, you're gonna need to run the ball. Like, in
yeah,
those cold weather games, you got to be able to run the ball. That's why the Packers had, I mean, the Packers have two good running backs, but I still think that they
yeah,
need to commit more to
right.
the running game. It's the same thing for the Bills.
Yeah, and they also spent like the Bills, I believe, spent a third round pick on James Cook,
Yeah,
and then they have Devin Singletary and Zach. No, I think didn't they get rid of Zach Moss? I'm not really
they
sure.
got
I
rid
think
of
they
Zach
got rid of
Moss.
him, yeah, at
Yeah,
the deadline. So, but they still have, I think, backs, and I don't know. I think if they don't make it to the Super Bowl, I could potentially see that coach being out.
yeah.
That's a hot take, but it's
Ooh,
like
yeah, that is
I
hot.
well, it's just we've seen this same thing for the last few years with the Bills, and it's just I don't know. I'm yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Uh
Hey, you never know. The NFL stands for not for long, and
yeah,
that's the way it goes. Hey, stranger things have happened. We will
yeah,
say that.
for sure. Uh Kirk is the anti-vampire. He can't play out at yeah, sorry. Kirk is the anti-vampire. He can't play at night.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see here. When Benny puts his 1970s glasses on, he looks older. I have contacts now. I'm never doing that again because I don't like glasses. Contacts all the way. Now, it can be annoying. I remember for the first few days, it was really annoying putting contacts in.
Yeah.
The first day, it took me an hour to put them in. So, anyways, let's get
You
to your AFC
are you
predict.
getting more
Oh, go ahead.
attention from the ladies now?
Yeah, sure. Sure. I got glasses. Well, I got tested. I never had actually had glasses, but I got tested a few weeks ago, and turns out my eyesight was pretty bad. And the funny thing is it's you never really realize it's that bad until you get glasses. Then you're like, oh wow, this is a whole new world. So
Yeah,
it's kind of
I can
crazy.
imagine.
But anyways, AFC. Let's go to your playoff predictions for the AFC.
For the AFC, we have so once again, it's kind of the same thing. I'm in the kind of in the same spot with the AFC, and the AFC East is a juggernaut right now. I just feel like they're gonna beat each other up. And at some point, one they're gonna knock. I think that they're gonna end up knocking at least one of the teams out because I can't see four teams from one division. I just can't see it. So
Mm-hmm.
I looking at the schedules and everything, I ended up putting the Bengals at 7.
Okay, we're
Even though
actually the same on that one.
even though they have a really tough schedule down the stretch. And then I've got number 6, I'm going with the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Then I've got Baltimore at 5th, or no, I've got Buffalo at 5th.
Okay.
I think then Baltimore, then Tennessee, then Miami, and Kansas City. The way the top 4 is now. Just because I think Miami is their offense is
Yeah.
their defense is struggling a little bit right now, but I think and I know that 49er fans are going to hate me for saying this, but Mike McDaniel is calling plays the way we wish
Shanahan was.
Shanahan would
I
call.
g- I agree. I agree.
I love he's doing the same stuff that we were doing at the 49ers. I know Shanahan didn't lose those plays. He's just not running them. And it's really weird to see, but I love their offense, and they've got the players to do it. It looks great with Jeff Wilson in there now. And I actually added him on my fantasy team. Like he's really good this season. Kansas City, it amazes me. You could take Tyreek Hill off that team,
Mm-hmm.
and Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes.
And that's why I consider Andy Reid one of the greatest coaches of all time, because
Mhm,
it's like you can do it with just as long as you have that consistent quarterback. It doesn't matter which pieces, and that's why I think the Chiefs are so dangerous. So, were you going to
yeah.
say anything else?
Oh yeah, no, Tennessee is all. I just want to say Tennessee is always one of those teams that they're going to get in there and they're going to beat somebody. I don't know who
Yeah.
it's going to be. They're going to win one game and then they'll be out after that. But
Yeah.
that was all I had.
Yeah. I completely agree, because with Tennessee, I think they don't have to throw the ball a ton. Like, they
No.
can play you by running the ball and being physical with Derrick Henry, and I mean, their defense, the difference this year is their defense this year drastically better than last year. I mean, their
Yes.
secondary a lot better than last year. Their defensive front a lot better than last year.
Mhm.
And so they're also they're scoring. They're not scoring a ton, but they're just. I mean, they've kept it close with the Chiefs. They beat the Packers. So they've they're going to make it far just off of that. But yeah, it's interesting because we actually had a very similar list. I had Bengals number 7. I had Jets number 6. I had Bills number 5. Ravens number 4. Titans number 3. Dolphins number 2, and Chiefs number 1. I
Yeah.
think the Bills have a harder schedule than the Dolphins do. Like you said, I mean,
Hmm.
with the Dolphins, you can dump it off to Tyreek Hill. He's going to take it for 30, 40. That's what's so. And then you also have Jalen Waddle on the other side.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to beat them.
Then they have
Now,
and they got two good running backs.
true, true. And the one concern is, though, that I still think is a little bit of a concern is how do they play in cold weather? I don't
Yeah.
think they've really been tested that much with that. And it's going to be interesting because they still have Buffalo, the Bills in Buffalo. So that's going to be an interesting matchup to look
But
out for.
But
Um,
what did we just say about Buffalo? Buffalo doesn't want to run the ball. Like
true.
they just don't. And what is Miami? You know that Miami's going to run the ball. Like
Hmm.
that's gonna happen. Like so it's I think that Miami, it's funny because they're Miami. Like I mean you don't think
Hmm.
of a cold weather team in Miami, but they're actually built for it. Like if you
Right.
really think about it, because they've got the running game. Like so, if it gets cold, they don't have to pass the ball. Like they've
Right.
got Jeff Wilson and they've got Mostert. You know, Mostert can take it to the house on any given play, and then you can even he's gonna use Tyreek Hill and Waddle on those sweeps on those jet sweeps, and it's they don't need to do a bunch of passing. I think that Mike McDaniel is going to scheme it up, and I think they're actually built pretty well for cold weather.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the thing that's interesting about the Bills is they've both of their back-to-back losses now have come both at home. Jets and the no, yeah, Jets, which I don't know if it was back to back. I don't think it was, but both of those lost to the Jets and to the Vikings have both come in Buffalo. So that's
Mm,
interesting. I think the Chiefs, though, the acquisition of Kadarius Toney was that was a good
that was a big
acquisition.
pickup. Yeah, that was a big pickup,
Now with Hardman
especially
on IR, yeah,
yeah, yeah, especially
yeah,
with Hardman going on IR. Like that was huge for them, and I
yeah.
actually think he's a little bit better than Hardman. So
Yeah. Well, as far as like ball skills, did you see that play where he went up in the air, caught it like high pointed it up in the
mhm.
air along the sideline? I don't know if he went for a touch. I think he did go for a touchdown. Um and the funny thing is if you look up close, like there's all these videos breaking it down. He was trying to like fix his glove and then he went up and caught it right
Yeah,
before he caught it. So, yeah, he's definitely a talented receiver and that's a guy where if you go to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, you're going to instantly be made a star. That's why I think like somebody like Brandon Ayuk in that offense would be 1,000 yard receiver
jeez,
every year.
yeah, every year. I mean, Brandon Ayuk is got to be one of the most underutilized top 5 receivers in the league. Like
Yeah.
he just doesn't have the stats to say it. Like
Yeah.
that's the only thing he's missing is people to is targets. If you would give him
Yeah.
targets that weren't high across the middle, he'd be killing everybody. So
I asked Celts Chronicles, Celts a few days ago, we were doing a segment. It was buy or sell, and I asked him, "Do you think Brandon Ayuk will get over 1,000 yards?" He's at like over 500, I think 560, something like that. Do you think he will?
it's uh, we have how many games left? We've got
We've got like 7.
7 games. It's a possibility, but I don't think he's going to make it. Like it's just our offense. It's the 49er offense. It's just
Yeah,
he Shanny doesn't key on any one guy. Like
true.
he just doesn't. And even if Ayuk has the matchup, Shanny doesn't attack matchups. He attacks the defensive rules. So it's
Yeah, that's true.
it's just it's like what like I don't understand it. I'm not a genius, I guess. Like but it just doesn't make any sense to me how the you've got a guy beating the guy in front of him on a majority of the snaps and we just can't get the guy the ball. But
Yeah, true.
it is what it is. As long as we keep winning, as long as 49ers keep winning, I'm good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And okay, before we move on, because there are some people in the chat. Uh,
Absolutely.
I was looking real quick at the Bengals schedule, and you said it was hard. That is pretty hard, and that's why I think the Ravens will win. They have Buffalo and KC still, so
Hmm.
that's interesting, and they're still 5-5. Uh,
Yeah.
so definitely they're gonna have to slip in for sure, and
Yeah.
that's gonna be interesting to see later on
I
in the
think they're
season
gonna
as
win a
well.
game that they're not supposed to win. I think
Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen. So
yeah, and
we'll
I mean,
see.
if you look at the Ravens schedule, the like it's a lot easier. They've played the teams that the Bengals are going to play that were early in the season. Like
Hmm.
the Ravens had a easier schedule, I would say, than the Bengals did because they played all of those hard teams earlier in the year. So
Yeah. The Ravens, I will say this. People haven't seen the best of the Ravens yet. Because
true.
Roquan Smith pickup was huge for them. Their defense is looking completely different now. And
Yeah.
so that's going to be huge for them.
And
So yeah.
Andrews has been injured for the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
2-3 weeks. So yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
Damian Lee,
That's my
he's also
guy.
another loyal. Yeah. Says, "What's up, Peter? What's up?" Um,
What's going on, Damien?
yeah. What's the problem with the Dolphins? Absolutely nothing. He's actually a Dolphins fan, Grandizer 12. So,
Yeah.
um, and if you haven't already, go give Pete Lucas a sub.
Yeah, for sure.
Niner,
Appreciate you.
Niner, yeah, Niner Fanatic podcast. Link in
Yeah.
description. This is a new one. I don't think I've actually had this guy in the chat before, so salute to you. Do you think the Patriots will make the playoffs? If they don't, do you think they should trade up to draft Stroud or Richardson? Sorry we didn't get to your comment later because that was 10 minutes ago, so I apologize. Hopefully you're still here.
Yeah. That is a
Vihani.
interesting one.
Hold on. I'm
Yeah.
trying to pronounce his name.
Oh.
Vihanisa. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's so I just think that they're a victim of being the least explosive team in their division. I think that obviously Belichick is, I mean, you can't say he's not the best coach ever. I think to be where they are currently with the roster they currently have, and with Mac Jones kind of struggling. I thought Mac Jones would be good.
Right.
I'm like I thought that he was going to be good, especially in that offense. It has not worked out that way, and but I still think that they're going to win games. I think that they're going to make it tough at going down the stretch. But I think that it's just because that division is just really so good. I mean, they've got who? I mean, man, they've got Miami. You've got Buffalo, who even though we've talked bad about them today, they're still Buffalo. And
True.
they've still got Josh Allen, and then you've got the upstart Jets. I'm just a solid stand. So I just think that he's got that defense playing well enough to carry them through.
Sauce
And
Gardner, defensive
oh,
player of the
that
year.
guy,
Often, yeah, that guy is doing really good.
yeah,
Good
oh
pick.
CG, yep,
And yeah. CG Ruthless Sports for 49ers talk coming in. Thank you for coming on in. He's become a little bit of a regular. I should have you on my show, so
yeah,
don't
he's
worry,
cool
that's
people.
coming soon. Yeah. I think with the Jets though, I think that's a team that is probably going to be a first round out just because of their quarterback. Like
Hmm.
he's good, but he also tends to make a lot of mistakes under
He's
pressure.
learning.
I saw the stat today that he has the second lowest um completion rate in the NFL when
Mm,
he's under pressure.
yeah,
16%. So I don't know. I think like this is a good like if you make it to the playoffs this year, I think that's a plus for your team. So
yeah,
it's not the worst thing, but I don't think they're gonna make it far or really even be a contender. I think the contenders are like Ravens, Titans, Chiefs, Bills are definitely I think are, and then Dolphins for sure.
yeah.
So
They're gonna just they're gonna try and run the ball. I mean that
yeah.
they are they are the same. They're a mirror image of the 49ers as far as like they run the same offense.
Hmm.
But yeah, they're going to be trying to run the ball and try and limit Zach Wilson's throws. So But that defense is just no joke. And it's going to be really hard for in this era of NFL with all everybody wanting to pass all the time. It's going to be hard against the Jets because they've got Sauce Gardner. He's taken away whoever
Mm,
you got on the other side. So you're going to have multiple weapons against the Jets and probably a good quarterback to beat them. And it's so I mean I'm happy for Salah. I really am. Like
yeah.
I think he had a hard luck of it last year, and I think he's shown that he's a good coach.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, let's see. We before we move on to the next topic, question prior to the 2022 NFL season, what was Peter's 49ers team record prediction? How has that changed now?
Prior to I said 11 wins, and now I think they're only going to get 10.
Uh,
but yeah, I said 11 wins. I thought it was. I mean, but that was when Trey Lance was starting. I thought that Trey Lance was going to come in and give us an aspect of this offense that we hadn't seen with Jimmy being able to throw over the top, and we got Jimmy again. So it is what it is. And but to Jimmy's credit, I think he's played well. And
yeah,
I'm not a Jimmy stan by any stretch of the imagination, but I've got to give credit where credit is due. It's this offense's issues. I don't think have been on him,
yeah,
and so, but
yeah. That's
I
true.
still think they're going to get 10 wins. I still think they're going to get 10 wins. And I think that that'll be good enough to get us to get the 49ers to the play into the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Uh, I want us to win the division, get
Yeah.
that first round home game. I don't know, man. The lack of creativity though is worrying, like you say. It's just we always used to blame it on Jimmy, but we were talking about this on Wednesday. Yeah, it's not really his fault, I guess, anymore.
Hmm.
But we'll see. So let's get to the next topic though. And this one is I guess we can go over this. We do definitely have a lot more to get through to. So but let's get to are the Seahawks an outlier team? Um I didn't really spell that right, but are the Seahawks an outlier team? Um
That's right.
yeah,
You
yeah.
spelled it right.
So no, well, no, I was the N, like the A, like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
but
I didn't see that.
that's not a big deal. Are the Seahawks an outlier team? Again, they lost to the Bucks. You know that. I mean, they definitely the Bucks were the worst run team in the league, and then they allowed the Bucks top runner that game to get 4.8 yards or
Hmm.
over 4 yards a carry. So not didn't look great, but it came down close. Are they the type of team that I don't know. I could be that team that halfway through they've had a little bit of luck and now it's like they're kind of starting to reach the earth again. They're not up here anymore. They're kind of slowly going down.
Yeah, it could be. It could be, but because their defense really isn't that good. Like, let's
Yeah.
just be real. Their defense really isn't that good, but their offense is really good. And the thing that makes it really good is they drafted those two bookend tackles this offseason, and they're getting great production out of Kenneth Walker in that running game. And they've kind of gone back to the Seahawk way of old of just running the ball and only really requiring Geno Smith to do what he needs to do. And it's a recipe for wins. Like I wish the 49ers would do it more. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Like it's I I love their I and it's the Seahawks, so I hate the Seahawks, but at the same time, I love that running back that they got, Kenneth Walker. He's just really a good player. He leaves something to be desired in the passing game. I think we saw that last game, but from a running standpoint, he's more than serviceable. And the big thing about it is that what does that the running game do? It gives you time of possession,
Mhm.
which you're making the game shorter. And when you make the game shorter, it makes it harder for the. It doesn't matter who you got on the other side. It get like they don't have as many opportunities to score.
Yeah.
So it's just I just think that it's gonna be other than us, they have kind of an easy schedule down the stretch. And it's gonna be hard for us to keep pace because they had such a good head start.
That's a good point. I think what a draft for Pete Carroll, Dan Schneider, just
Yeah.
absolutely
Sucks.
incredible.
It
Yeah.
sucks.
Eh, I mean, Cross just, I mean, top 5 tackle in the league already. And really the biggest question with them was like the whole quarterback thing. And I think I thought they had a pretty good offense, but I was like, their quarterback is going to be trash this year. And so,
Mhm.
and
We all
I
thought
mean,
that.
yeah, and it's like what a way to fall up, because it's like they were probably thinking we can get a top 5 pick, and now it's like they're going to get like they're gonna get a higher pick. And so now it's like you kind of delay the quarterback drafting process. And this draft class was a really good draft class with quite a few names in there. The Alabama quarterback. Trying to think of other ones. I think I'm not. I haven't really dived into it, but I've heard it's a good draft class. And so yeah, I mean
A
that's
lot of
you
athletic
delay
guys.
that, and you delay it, and like now it's like, do you give Geno Smith a contract, which would be absolutely crazy, but
That would
wow.
be insane, but I think that might be he might have played himself into a contract. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, he's not gonna be like Russell Wilson asking for them to run the offense through him. I
yeah,
highly doubt it. He's gonna be perfectly fine with riding the wave and whatever you want, Pete. If you want to run the ball 40 times a game, I'm good. Like, I'm just happy to be here. Like,
yeah,
that's really what Gino's about right now. He's just happy to be starting, and he's gonna get starter money, but he's probably not gonna get that top tier quarterback money.
that's true. What do you think of Pete Carroll? Are you on the bandwagon of Pete Carroll being the coach of the year? I am. I think
Ooh.
the fact that the draft that he had, now that's probably a big part of the general manager, but I think that he was definitely contributed to the draft. And I think that Kenneth Walker pick was solely Pete Carroll, because what has Pete
Mhm,
Carroll wanted to do, except from the last few years? All like he hasn't really had healthy running backs, right? But
mhm.
what is Pete Carroll always, his philosophy has always been running back, running back, running back. What does he do? He goes out, drafts a really freaking good running back from Michigan State, who I'm a Michigan fan because of Jim Harbaugh.
I'm a Michigan
And
fan too. Go blue.
really,
Go blue. All day.
hey, before we get back to it, how do you like their undefeated season? And today they barely escaped with a win. That was
Yeah,
crazy. Game winning field goal.
it's gonna end as soon as we go up against Ohio State.
Wait, you really
Like,
think so? We're not going to beat them
I don't
again
think
again?
our running back went down, and
Yeah, I did see that.
yeah,
But he returned to the game for one snap, and then he just kept his jersey on. No, like
yeah,
his so I don't think it's too serious.
yeah. But I will tell you this, and I know this is sacrilegious for 49er fans. I'm not a big Harbaugh guy. I just
Oh, okay.
my issue with Harbaugh is I feel like he's good enough to get you here, but he's never going to get you over the top. And
Yeah.
he's a big rah rah guy, but there's nothing behind it. So he gets his guys playing hard, but eventually there's nothing to get him over that he's not going to scheme up a way to get him over the top. If
Yeah,
that makes any sense. So,
that's
but
true.
I love that we're winning. I love because there was a lot of lean years. I've been a Michigan fan since a little bit since I was like 10. So
Dang.
yeah. So I haven't seen a national title since what 95. I think it was 95 or 96. So I can't really remember off the top. But Charles Woodson was the Heisman winner that year. So
Yeah. So yeah, but I'm gonna say Pete Carroll, offensive coach of the year. What he's done is impressive. So
I it's going to be really tough for him because there's so many coach teams that are surprising this year.
that's
And
true.
I mean, you've got Mike McDaniel over there in
Day
Miami.
ball.
You've got Dable. I mean, they you know what? And then you got Salah too. Like, nobody thought that the Jets were going to be anything. They thought they were a year or two away. And but Dable, I mean, honestly, that's got to be my choice right now. Like, I mean, I thought that team was a dumpster fire, and like there was no way that they were going to do anything. I thought Dable was a beneficiary of
Josh
Josh
Allen.
Allen,
Yeah.
and and I thought that's what it was. But the guy's just a good coach.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
give him credit.
Yeah. Totally. Um, let's see. Uh, Celts Chronicles, we were
My
talking about
guy,
you about 10 minutes ago. If you're still here, um,
what up, Rich?
welcome. Just great guy overall. Go subscribe to his channel. Love doing shows
Absolutely.
with him. Um, let's see here. What up? Hold on. Thoughts on Tipgate? What is?
What is Tipgate?
I don't know.
Oh, Tip. He's talking about. He's talking about the Trent Williams tipping his plays
Oh,
to
oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I hope they're practicing that, man. I hope they're
I
practicing
mean,
that.
that's it's. I look at it like this. It's never a good thing to be tipping plays,
Mm-hmm.
and even though Trent Williams is a probably a Hall of Famer, and he's probably going to win regardless, it doesn't help the rest of his team out. And I think
Yeah.
that the 49ers offensive line coach said as much. I think it was yesterday. Basically, we don't. He said we don't. We're going to work on it because we don't want him to be tipping plays. So I don't think Trent Williams likes being called out like
Mm,
for something like that,
yeah.
and I think you saw that in his interview. But I think that they're going to end up working on it. I think you're going to see a little bit something different this next week, and so I mean, but kudos to Jesse. Get everybody needs to give Jesse, Jesse Naylor. Give
Yeah.
Jesse Naylor his credit for really being the one to bring out that story, no matter if you wanted to hear it or not, whether it was whether you felt it was being negative or not. In my estimation, that's our job as content creators is to get real news and things to talk about out there. That's our job. So you don't have to like it, but I mean, I thought that was it was an excellent point. So big kudos to Jesse.
Yeah. That's another great content creator that you guys should go subscribe to. Because I am. And if you trust my word, then you
Me too.
should. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Grand Azure with the draft depends if Pete Carroll has final say over the roster. He does have a lot of power there. I do think so. I think that Kenneth Walker pick was definitely his. Um, they knew that they needed a healthy running back that was durable and that could
Hmm.
carry the rock, and they just hadn't had that. So,
Yep,
um,
absolutely.
oh wow, that is interesting, Peter. Your take on Harbaugh. I believe he was the coach who did put the 49ers to get to over the top. 49ers had a lot of talent before Harbaugh got there, but he got them.
Yeah,
But
he's a
he
good
got them.
coach. I'm not saying he's not a good coach. Like,
Yeah,
he's not the guy that's gonna get you over the hump.
true.
As he's not a like when you think of a great coach like Belichick has the talent for taking away your best player on defense,
Right.
and he's known for just scheming it up. Like he's known for you can't give the guy an extra week to game plan for you.
Yeah.
So Andy Reid is offensive genius. I
Mm.
mean, the guy schemes up great game plans. What would you say is Jim Harbaugh's main thing? Like, what is it that he does so well? All I could come up with is
Run
that
the
he's a
ball.
rah-rah guy. He motivates players, but is that enough to get you over the hump when you're going against these great teams?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, we'll see. I really hope they win.
Oh,
What
I
made
would
you
love to
like?
see it.
Yeah, yeah. What made you pick the Wolverines?
So I'm a comic dork. like
Oh,
it's
so it was Wolverine. Oh, yeah.
Wolverine. I was a little kid, and I was a comic book collector, and Wolverine was my guy. As a little kid,
Dang.
so I was like, "Oh, they got this football team, the Wolverines, and like, oh yeah, I had sweatshirts. My parents bought me a bunch of sweatshirts and T-shirts. I used to be go blue all day and I grew up in L.A. area of California, so it's like, who is this kid with all the Wolverine gear on like all the time? but but yeah, that was
Yeah.
my team.
Yeah. That's interesting. What a coincidence. I've not met a whole ton of Wolverine fans. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's see what's happening. That's interesting. I'm going to have you on platform 246. I was actually gonna contact you soon. I really like your stuff, and yeah, just definitely look out for my DM on Twitter because I definitely want to have you on as well. Cool content creator. Go check out his channel. Celts, props to Jesse. Real talk to the fullest. Anyone hating should reflect and
Absolutely.
correct. Yes, yes, great
Absolutely.
guy. What up? Oh, okay. Got okay. Uh, Yo Ben, it's platform 246. Hope you can get him on your stream too. Yep. And then LJ. What does he mean by that? LJE. Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Debo, that like button. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Um, which means smash because Debo is an aggressive guy.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let's get to the next topic. This is the final one. We can go rapid fire on this one. Game picks for this week. We talked about our predictions, and I actually have something to share, just to maybe as a guide to go off of. I do have the game picks, or the games right here.
Got you.
So they're pretty small, but let's go. I just wanted them as like a list on the screen for me. Let's get to the first matchup. Obviously, we already had Titans versus Packers. They won. Let's go Bears versus Falcons. Yeah, Falcons. Who do you got here?
These games are getting harder and harder to, and I'm sure that Rich is going to laugh at me because I'm probably going to pick a game differently than I called it on Last Man Standing. But it's I got to go with the Bears on this one. I think that they're on the way. Their offense is on the way up uh, as far as trajectory, and I feel like the Falcons people have kind of figured out what they're doing, and they're on the way down. Like so,
Hmm.
it's I'm gonna go Bears.
Okay. I'm gonna go Bears as well because they just have a running quarterback that is going to beat up on that. Falcons run game is not very good at all. And
It's
I
true.
just think that I mean, I think they're like one top bottom 10 team in the league for run game, and Justin
Yeah.
Fields has been on fire. And I think the Bears is going to be one of their last wins because they have the Bills and the Eagles coming up in the
Ooh.
next few weeks.
Yeah, that
So,
sucks.
I actually traded Justin Fields in fantasy. If you play fantasy,
Oh
just
yeah, I do.
because I did not trust him. Well, he's doing good, but I think he's gonna start falling off. So yes, I think
Yeah.
they're gonna take advantage of a easy Falcons team.
Smart man.
Next one, Eagles versus Colts.
Eagles. I mean, I'm gonna. I'm
Yeah, this
not
is
gonna
kind of
be. Yeah, I mean, I'm going Eagles. Like I think the Colts. It's great story with their new coach and everything. But like, yeah, no, I don't think it's even a question. I'm gonna go with the Eagles on this one.
Yeah, Saturday, I think he's good, whatever. And
Yeah.
I think he's a competent person that, I mean, he's going to bring some stability to that organization, and he's not the guy that's going to like completely screw it up. But I think he definitely had a little bit of a pass last week when he played the Raiders, who are even more of a dumpster
Yeah.
fire. So
Exactly.
that coach is getting fired after this year, Josh McDaniels, for the second time in his career.
Oh
Um,
yeah. It's just so bad. It's so bad with all those weapons. It makes no
yeah,
sense.
yeah, I know. So I got Eagles as well. Jets versus Patriots.
This is a tough one. uh, I'm gonna go with Jets. Oh, it's in Foxborough though, right? I'm still going
And yeah,
Jets. I'm still
yeah,
going
and
Jets.
okay, yeah, because the Jets, Jeff Wilson, I'm not Jeff, Zach Wilson a few weeks ago had his worst game against the Patriots. I think they
Mhm.
do get revenge there. That was before they had James Robinson, the Jets. And
Hmm.
if Zach Wilson has that bad of a game again, I think that's the only reason why they lost was because he had 3 picks. So I got to go Jets there as well.
Yeah.
Let's get to the next one. Commanders versus Texans.
Oh yeah,
This
I'm
is,
going Commanders all day on this one. I think twice on Sundays. Like the it's Commanders are. I think that they're on that upward trajectory. They got a good defense, and
yeah.
and Heineke is good enough. They've got running backs. They've got two good running backs, and it's yeah. I just think it's got to be. They've got weapons all over the place. If that team ever gets a quarterback, it's curtains for the AFC East.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know if that coaches out if Rivera's out by this at the end of this year. I don't think so because I think at this point they're trying to save they're trying to get a low pick for a quarterback. I'm going to go
Hmm.
Commanders there as well. I think Chase Young is playing and Texans are pretty bad. And Terry McLaurin, what a player.
Oh,
What a player. He had a
49ers could
good
have had
game.
him.
I know.
49ers
I
could have had
know.
him.
Well, they drafted Debo, right?
Yeah, they
So,
got Debo, but and not to say anything bad about Debo. I love Debo. Like but they I think they might have been able to have both of them. And I
uh
can't and I want to look
oh,
back
yeah,
at it
that's right.
that yeah, they could have had both of them.
Because I think McLaurin was, like, at the end of the second round, right? And then
Yeah.
I think we got somebody after Debo as well
Yeah.
in that second round. So, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. That's crazy.
Wouldn't that be
Um,
crazy?
yeah, yeah. Rams versus Saints. Um, who this is kind of a
Oh,
dumpster fire
jeez.
game. I don't really
Yeah.
know. Both teams kind of just I'll start with this one. I'll go Saints here. I think the Rams, no Cooper Cup. That team is just my
It's
lord.
yeah, it's I can't. It couldn't have happened to a nicer bunch of guys. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Hate the Rams. Always hated the Rams, and it's I love watching their downfall.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
I'm Saints all the way. Alvin Kamara and the Red Rifle, like are just gonna walk all over the Rams.
Chris Olave. I have him in my fantasy, and he's done pretty good this year. Let's just say
Hmm.
that. So, next one: Bills versus Browns. This one kind of a get right game for the Bills. It's at home. It's in Buffalo. Again, I think. Wait, so is it week
Or no, they
11?
moved
Because
it to
this.
Detroit. They moved it
Oh,
to
oh,
Detroit.
really? Okay,
Yeah, because
interesting.
of the storm in Buffalo, like so yeah, they moved that game to Detroit, so it's not really a
Okay,
true home game.
that's interesting because I saw a video actually of Twitter, and the Bills player opens up his garage, and it's like almost like it was crazy. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this is the game that Deshaun Watson comes back, right? Because
He
yeah,
doesn't come back until he's able to practice now. He
okay.
won't be back until the Texans game, which is ironic.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. So that's my bad. I got Bills on this one though.
Yeah.
I think this
Yeah,
is a get
I
right.
got to go with the Bills. The Browns uh they just look bad with their quarterback position is pretty much non-existent, and they have great running backs, but it's the issue is eventually you're going to have to throw the ball, and
Hmm.
and teams are just sitting on their wide receivers because they don't have anybody to throw the ball. So yeah, I'm going Bills.
Yeah. Yep. Ravens versus Panthers. The Panthers have been interesting. I think Sam Darnold is playing this game because I believe PJ Walker got injured.
Mm.
So, um, ooh, this is hard. Well, not really hard. I'm gonna go Ravens, but
Yeah,
I
it's
wanna
in
pick an
Baltimore,
upset.
right?
Yeah, I wanna pick an upset, but it's like all of these games are like they seem like they're so one-sided. So
Those
I
are
don't know.
always the one, and when we're in our on our last man standing show, those are always the games that are just it's so obvious, but those are always the upsets. It's just been crazy this year.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm going
Who have you
Ravens.
got?
Like I
Yeah,
mean,
Ravens.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean it's I think that team is about to catch fire, and they're going to be a hard out in the playoffs.
true, true. Lions versus Giants. This one I don't know. I think the Lions could give them a little bit of a tough task.
They
I think
could.
it could be a lot closer. I'm gonna say upset Lions. I think if it comes down to offensive, well, oh, Lions have a terrible run game. It's not a good matchup at all. Run defense. They have a bad
Yeah.
run defense. Nah, never mind. I'm gonna go
They
Giants.
have a terrible defense all the way around.
I'm gonna go Giants. I was like, let's pick Lions, but then I'm like, they have a terrible run defense.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm going
um,
Giants as well. Like,
yeah,
Giants, I think Daboll is gonna scheme it up and he's gonna get him just enough points.
yeah, yeah. Um, we'll see. We'll see. Raiders versus Broncos.
It's who wants to win a game. Like, I don't, uh and I can't even remember who I think I picked the Broncos on Last Man Standing, but I'm gonna go Raiders. I just gotta believe that they're going to get a win. I just want to
Yeah,
see. I just want to see a win. I gotta believe that they got one in them. So
yeah.
I'm just gonna go Raiders. That's gonna be my if you can even call it an upset.
That's where we split. I think I'm going to go Broncos there. I don't. I think this is like the Broncos don't have a first round pick. They're kind of just like they're not really. They have to win. They don't really. Yeah, I'm gonna go like the Broncos don't have anything to lose for because they don't even have a first round pick. So it's
Yeah,
like who. Yeah, I'm gonna go Broncos. I think Jerry Judy's catching a little bit of fire. They're good, and it's just gonna be a dumpster fire game. I think that's
yeah.
definitely
It's
not
gonna
one
be
of
a
the
bad
ones.
game. It's not gonna
Yeah,
be fun to watch at all.
Cowboys versus Vikings. I'll go. This is like the game of the week. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go upset. I think I'm gonna go Cowboys because I think the Cowboys have the defense to keep up and stop the Vikings. That's I think the thing that the Bills didn't have last week is Bills did not stop the run at all. I think like Dalvin Cook 8 yards per carry, I believe,
Mm,
and I just think that I think Micah Parsons is gonna get there. Their defense has been really stout. And Dak Prescott has been playing really well, and Tony Pollard has been running the ball really well. And I mean, the Vikings, except from last week when they made those few stops at the end there, they have generally not been a very good defense, and not very good of a pass offense. So I'm gonna
mm.
go Cowboys with the upset.
I am going to go. I'm gonna go Vikings. Like, I'm gonna go Vikings because I think that it's in Minnesota,
Hmm.
and yeah, I think I'm just gonna. It's a pick 'em for me because I think that the as good as Dak is playing, I still think that offense is not playing up to its potential, and they still
Hmm.
don't want to run the ball, which baffles me because they have two good running backs. And yeah, I'm just gonna go Vikings. I think that their offense is hitting on all cylinders. Jefferson is just an animal, and yeah, I'm gonna go Vikings.
Yeah. The Rams meltdown is so beautiful, says Celts.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it
Um,
is.
Little bit of a hot take. Platform 246. Terry is a better wide receiver than Debo. Interesting.
Better wide
Um.
receiver, not weapon. If
Oh.
it was a
Oh. Okay.
weapon,
Okay. Okay. Sorry. My bad.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm
I
gonna
see what
go.
he's saying.
Yeah.
From a route
No.
runner's perspective, yes, Terry is a better wide receiver than Debo.
Yeah.
And from a hands perspective, I will say, because Debo's going to drop balls.
Yeah. Bills in Detroit. Well, that's true. That is true. What is it with the 49ers dropping balls for like the Brandon Ayuk
Everybody's
and
kind of
Debo?
gotten better as the season has gone
We
along,
had that
except for
bad
Debo.
touchdown drop though against
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
don't know. Like, I don't I don't understand it. Like, we have all this talent on the team, and just in the worst possible moments, we just execution is an issue always.
Yeah,
So
discipline, yep, for sure.
that's what it is.
Uh Browns doesn't Watson doesn't play this game. Yes, the game is in Detroit. Yeah, we figured that out.
Yeah.
Allen 2 picks in each of the last 3 games. Yeah, that's concerning. He's in a little
Yeah.
bit of a slump, and if they keep throwing the ball, it's just I don't know. You have to find another way to do
At some
anything.
point, you got to run the ball. Take
Yeah.
some of the pressure off of the guy. Like, you've got running backs. Like, it's just they got Naheem Hines too from the Colts, I believe.
Yeah,
So they
they
got
did.
him, Singletary, and James Cook. James Cook has looked good when they've given him carries. It's just I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Have to find that balance.
yep,
Um, Meanwhile, Jimmy is going for third straight without a pick.
go
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Yeah. Baker is starting. Yep. Um, I can hear someone laughing in the background. I'm not sure if that was me. It might have been. Kittle goes growl, go Lions. Okay. Oh, sorry. Kitty goes growl, go Lions.
Yeah.
Sorry. Um, read that wrong. I'm dyslexic. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's I think I went upset Lions on last man standing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he did too.
Interesting.
Kelts has been trying to find all those upsets.
Hey, it's smart. It's smart. I would say if there's an upset that's in this week, I think it's Cowboys versus Vikings. I think that's Cowboys. I think
Yeah,
could get that. That's the best matchup I think possible this week.
could be.
Um. Anyways, let's get to the next game. Bengals Steelers. I'm gonna go Bengals here. I don't think this is really that big of a surprise. I just think maybe this could be an upset, but really, what if the Steelers showed offensively that we can really be confident about? The George Pickens and Kenny Pickett connection is nice, but
It's
I
real.
just don't.
It's real.
This is a must-win game for the Bengals if they want to stay alive. Like that, this is a strong AFC. You have to win this game. It's in. It's
You
in.
are right.
It's in Pittsburgh though, so I don't know.
Yeah. You are right in everything you say. I have a feeling that Pittsburgh is going to win this game because TJ Watt is back. And we saw it last
Ooh,
game. And
true.
we saw it last game that that was really all they needed. Their defense played on a whole nother level when they had TJ Watt in there. And Joe Burrow doesn't have any protection now.
Hmm.
So yeah, you add TJ Watt into the mix, it would not surprise me. I'm going with the upset with Pittsburgh.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Um, Chiefs, Chargers. I, I don't know. I think this one could be interesting.
Yeah.
Chargers
They always
is,
play each other tough, so it doesn't really matter who's where. They always just kind of play each other tough. So
yeah, that's true. Let's see who so Palmer is playing. Mike Williams is questionable, and it says he's expected to play Sunday. And
hmm
then Allen, do you know if Allen's also expected to
they
play?
said both of them might be playing. That they were expecting Mike Williams to play, but Allen they said is leaning towards playing. But my thing is Allen isn't a burner like that. So
True.
if he's still hobbled, I don't know why you would play him.
Right. That's true. Because you could hurt it even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he depends on his route running and and his weight. He's really good at beating the zone. So I
Body
yeah,
over the top.
yeah.
He's a yeah. So who have you got?
But
Well, I've got
I'm gonna go KC.
okay, yeah. I want part of me is like I want to pick the upset. They almost lost KC to the Raiders earlier on this year, and that was like seems embarrassing now. um, let's go. I saw how well, yeah, let's go KC. I just don't
You can't compare the Chargers to how they played the 49ers because
know.
we make teams look better than what they are. Yeah,
And
a
I
lot
was
of
about to say like
us.
Herbert, go ahead.
Oh, that was it. I was just saying that we make teams look better than what they are so a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So
I was just gonna say Herbert looked really good, but I mean, so does Patrick Mahomes, man. Both quarterbacks are really good.
yeah, he is the only quarterback in the world, or I mean not in the NFL right now that um that I could say that you could run the entire offense through him
Right.
and without a running game, and it doesn't bother me in the least.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's Sunday night. That should be exciting. 49ers versus Cardinals.
Mhm. Uh,
Um, I got 49ers in this one, but the Cardinals are pretty desperate, so we'll see.
and Cole McCoy's playing, so I mean, 49ers better win
Oh
this game.
man.
They better win this game. And it is in Mexico, altitude and like all that kind of. They better find a way to win this game, and that's all I'm gonna say. If I'm picking the 49ers, and if they don't win, I'm gonna be I might have to pick it outside of Levi's. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like it's because that's just insane if they lose to that team.
Yeah, that's true. It's in Mexico City. Um, that should be interesting. I do think I looked up like the fan base, like they actually have a lot of fans in that area. So there should be quite a like that should be mostly 49ers fans in that
Yeah,
stadium. So we'll see with that. But that's the end of our game picks. We only really had a few teams that were differently that on our list. I just I didn't really see a whole lot of upsets here, but it's
yeah,
gonna happen. It's just
yeah.
which
It'll
teams.
probably be like last man standing, and I'll probably end up. You'll probably get more right than I did. So
Yeah, well, real quick before we go, because I know it's been a long show, so I know you have stuff to do, but real quick, the comments, Car, we put so much work just to sleep at night. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Did you see his press conference?
breakdown.
And
Yeah.
oh my god, I thought he was like that's crazy. Like you just start crying on the podium.
The 40 yeah. The Broncos got a first round pick, the one they got for. Oh, I forgot
Hmm.
about that. The Chubb trade. Did you know that?
Yeah, yeah, they got a, first round, because yeah, they traded the yeah, Bradley Chubb, yeah, for a
Yeah,
pick.
dang. So I did not know that, but that'll be a pretty low first round pick, depending how far Dolphins go. But they do
Well,
what we
how
want them to
depending on
do.
how far we go, because it's our pick.
Oh, that's true. That thing has been around.
Yeah. Yes, it has. It is, yeah, it's but I'm happy because the Miami fans on Twitter were going crazy, just talking to us about we needed to run the pick and yeah, they were expecting us to go lower. Now I can actually root for the Miami without feeling weird about it.
Yeah, yeah, true. Wow. That like I saw something on Twitter. They have given us like we've given them Jalen Waddle
Yeah,
because of Tyreek Hill, Jeff Wilson, and like a few other picks or whatever.
yeah,
And it's like we make up half of their core or something. It's
yeah.
like
It's crazy. Yeah, it's nuts. Like, but to their credit, I mean, to flip though, to use that draft capital crap draft capital and to turn it into Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and all these weapons on that team, it's I mean, great job. Great job by their GM to transform that team and then great job by Mike McDaniel putting it all together and being able to fit all these guys in his scheme and it not look like nobody like people aren't getting touches if that makes sense. Like the 49ers,
yeah,
we struggle getting our guys touches and it
yeah,
doesn't seem like they're struggling at all.
true.
So yeah, kudos to them. And Tua has looked phenomenal. But we pray for his health that he can stay healthy because I want to see him complete the season. I'm kind of rooting for them.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Me too. That was scary, that injury that he had early in the year. Um, Ben can't read or pronounce words today. LOL. He's such a kidder. Yeah, I don't know what is wrong with me. I've definitely had a long day for sure, but
Haven't we
yeah,
all?
yeah, yeah. Uh, anyways, guys. So what have you got coming out on your channel? Let them know, and then we'll get you out of here.
Uh, so everybody can find me Niner Fanatic Podcast, and it's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. That's where the you can find the video, and then of course I chop up the video and put snippets on Instagram and TikTok, so you can find me there. You can find me anywhere on where you can find your audio platform podcast, Niner Fanatic Podcast. And then I'm also on Last Man Standing. Every Wednesday, we're going live with Rich Keltz, Niner Sickness, and Brandon from Forever Faithful podcast. So we do that on Wednesdays. Also, I am on Ryan Hensley's show on Mondays at usually about 8:15. Last Monday, I did the whole show with him. So, but check us out on Mondays on Ryan Hensley's channel also. So, but hey, Ben, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Had a great time chopping up 49ers and all the and NFL with you. I don't get a chance to always get to talk the whole NFL all the time, so that was great. It was a great time.
Yeah, I mean, no problem. I'm gonna have you on again. Um, and usually Saturday is my like NFL day. We do Wednesdays. Well, sometimes Wednesdays, but yeah, a lot of times Saturdays are NFL. I was looking for a guy, and you were like, "Let's do it." So,
Yeah,
definitely thank you for that. Everyone, this has been a
anytime.
good show. Um, I mean, we'll see you probably again. Have a good Thanksgiving week. We'll see you probably this Wednesday.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
and
I'll
go
be on
Niners.
Monday too. Yeah, I'll be on a Monday. I'll be on Tuesday. We changed Ryan Hensley's show to Tuesday this week because of the games on Monday. So
Mm.
yeah, I'll be on Tuesday.
Yep, yep. Well, that sounds good, everyone. Have a good rest of your evening. Go Niners, and
Go Niners.
I pray that they win the division.